Hey guys, it's Terry from Grover Boys Racing. Thank you for stopping back in. Well, fellas, I'll tell you what I'm up to. I'm trying to figure out how to get old Sleepy here motivated. So I thought this might help. I stuck the intake and the aluminum heads in front of her, but she's not liking it. She says she's content the way she is. And I thought to myself, how's this car with 302 ever going to go nines with a dual plane intake and it's actually a stock replacement dual plane intake. It's the 8011 weigh-in, and that's what that was for, was just a nice stock upgrade intake. That's what that was for back in the day. They made this one, and they made another Action Plus that was, I think, a quarter inch taller in the plenum, which one had a power band of 6,500 RPM, and the other one had a 7,000 RPM band. Or, if I'm confused, one was 6,000, and then the other one was 6,500. So forgive me, guys. I'm going back 40 years on this. So, anyway, I'm thinking, how would this engine ever go 9 seconds like that? And I got thinking about it. If you look at Grover Boys Racing, the Green Gangster with Adam Grover, this engine's already been that fast. Stock engine, and it has an Anderson cam in it, and a 750 carburetor right here. And I know the carburetor looks fancy, fellas, but this carburetor actually has done the same as my quick fuels and other things. We had another carburetor. These carburetors usually pick up around 1/10 compared to a stock Holley, believe it or not. So you can tune a stock Holley to do the same. And guys, there's no secrets on this engine. It is what I tell you it is. It's not like one of these deals where these guys have aluminum rods stroked out. It doesn't take a whole lot to do what we do. And the best part about this is my son, he put his own spin on this. The combination of the camshaft is his. The rest of the combination was mine back in the day. But you can say, well, we know a lot of guys go 9s on nitrous. He hasn't killed this on nitrous. It had a 125 to a 140 shot, depending on how you want to look at the jet spread. And the motor's actually been 10s on all motor. So anybody wants to give us a little bit of grief about that. And for a 9-to-1 compression engine, what can you say? And the motor hasn't split. I know guys that's going 9 seconds, they've split the engines trying it. They've beat them to death with 250 shots. Tried to up the jet on the nitrous and just tried to beat the engines to death to go that fast. But anyway, we did have this intake on there before with a set of trick flow aluminums. And that was on a different car. And it had an automatic with a converter in it. And that thing didn't run how we wanted it to, but that was all due to the converter. Had seen the best of its days, I think. But anyway, guys, I promised you this. I said this was coming down the road, that I'd be telling you how you can make a 302 run. And now I'm going to get into the basics a little bit, fellas. They say never to change the heads. And this is why I argue with people. I actually put a different exhaust on these E7s. I raised them, I made them into a D-port. That's one of the tricks that's done to it. And that's just something I did on my own. The E7 head, they always say you never ever on any head do the floor on an intake side of a head. And on the E7, if you look at them, they ramp up. They go uphill and then they drop down, and it angles the fuel on the piston where it doesn't like to be let loose, basically. I'll put it to you that way. I don't want to get too technical for guys that don't know all this stuff. I want to keep us on the basis of people that are learning, and I hate it when I hear all these guys talk all out in outer space where you don't know what they're talking about. So I'm trying to do this on ground level for the average kid learning and wants to learn, can understand where I'm going with things. But anyway, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I actually took the exhaust port and I made it into a D shape. I wish I had the headers off. On another time, I'll show you the heads, how I did them when they're off the car. But and I did enlarge the intake runner on the heads, which they say that doesn't work. Now, they are right, it wouldn't work if you didn't widen the rest of the runner. I had these widened where I could widen them, where I couldn't widen the runner. I rounded everything in the best I could, and that's the only reason this thing runs the way it does, is according to the way these heads are done. And that's why I argue with people about different things they say. You have guys out there that are really technical, and to me, sometimes they're too technical. This is why I make the points I make on my videos about things. It's only because I prove differently. The flow bench is good for certain things, but fellas, this car hasn't done it yet. But need I say more? Look up the Green Gangster, Adam Grover, Grover Boys Racing, and you'll get to see the car. He's running stroker engines, he's running turbo cars, he's running the Hayabusa. And for him to even come close and give these guys even kind of a fit, and even a couple races that he lost on there, he had no business even getting close to these guys, fellas. That's how I look at it. And it's not because it's our stuff. It's not because he's my son. I say this because of how it is. I would say this if this was my worst enemy doing this with a car. It's not to do anything but say the truth about what we have. And like I said, it's not because it's ours. I'm making these videos to help you guys. Somebody was like, wow, I would love to be able to do that with my 302. You can. It's not hard. And like I said, this engine, I said in the previous video, it was in the 9 seconds with the stock rockers. Yes, stock rockers, no roller rockers. I do have roller rockers on it now. That's only because we had them. And my son paid a lot of money. They were laying around, so I put them on this. And that's the only reason that they're on there. And he needs a pair of a set of $400 rockers laying around just to collect dust, right, fellas? So they're on the engine now. And the only other things this has really finished up on it, as far as to go 9s, is the nitrous. I haven't even tried to put the nitrous on it yet, because if anybody's been watching my videos, you know I have no fuel pressure right now. This car's been sitting since we've been to the track 3 weeks ago. I thought we'd have it straightened out by now, but guys, to be honest, I've been under the weather. I've needed some prayers with some health issues, and thank God you guys have given them to me. And I thank God for that, because I'm starting to come around, and I appreciate the people that really said their prayers for me. But getting back to this is just one of these deals. It is what it is, fellas. The heads are what I'm telling you they are. They only have GT40 valves. I think we upgraded to them. And then when we did that, we actually saw no gain, if I remember right. It's hard to kind of put a finger on everything we've done and remember exactly what we've done, because it's been over a time period. We haven't done it all one time and then tried the car. We've actually made a few changes, and the heads were milled. I'm sorry I left that out, but nothing crazy. The intake is still the same as factory. It hasn't been milled to match the heads, so whatever the heads were milled, 20 thousandths or 25, something like that, nothing crazy. So the compression ratio is probably maybe a tad higher than 9-to-1, maybe 9-2-to-1, something like that. But it is what it is, fellas. I just wanted to make this video to show people that you don't need strokers. You don't need to even move into a Windsor unless you really want to do that. And this is all budget stuff. Stock, bottom end, crank, rods, the whole thing. And not just that, these engines that we've been running that my son's had in the 10s, some of them engines have had 300,000 miles and more on them. So it's just one of them things, fellas. I wanted to just, like I said, make this video. I told people I'd be doing this, and they were anxious to hear about this. And some people get a little iffy about it, thinking that we really do have different things done that we don't. They think we have strokers and all this stuff. And then you have guys out there that know we're telling the truth, that really have done the same thing. That I mean, you do have guys out there that know how to do the same thing we're doing. Of course, we're nobody special. We just do what we do. But like I said, I wanted to make this video just to show somebody that thinking they need all this high dollar stuff. I keep watching this one guy. He's showing these guys that they need $2,000 and $3,000 heads all the time, and it gets me so upset. And so technical, talking about chamber softening and everything like this here, and that's okay for people that are trying to advance themselves up and everything. But when it comes down to average guys that are just trying to jump into something, I seen a article a while back where a kid asked about putting E7 ported on his car, and them guys were all over him, telling him not to even waste his time. He goes, I'm just a college kid trying to go 13s. And they're like, well, if you waste your money on them, you're an idiot. You need to go back to college for some more brains, they told him. Basically, in a nutshell, what they said to him. They weren't quite that blunt, but that's basically what they were telling him. And he goes, I don't have a lot of money. And my heart ached for that kid. I wanted so bad to go in there and say something. But I don't want to be arguing with people all the time. Pretty aggressive sometimes when I stick up for somebody like that. And that's why I'm doing these videos, guys. And like I said, there's no real tricks to this car here. We're kind of upset with it right now because the fuel pressure's down on it, and I haven't checked the gauge yet. I did take the line off of it and test it that way, and it seems like it's pretty good. But I'll have to find out more when I get more in depth with it, because maybe it's not doing well under pressure when it's tied into the carburetor and everything like it should be. I took the line off and tried to open it, fill the can up real fast, but who knows? I still got to go more in depth with that and check it out. And the car, I guess, hasn't had any time spent on it at all since we came back from the track. So, but anyway, guys, like I said, this is just one of them things I wanted to show you. And maybe that Parker will motivate this car a little bit. Pretty. Alright, guys, but anyway, keep me in touch. And I appreciate it. Like I said, every time you guys come see me, I appreciate it. And I'll have more coming your way. If there's any information you need to know more about this setup and that you like it, send me a little thumbs up and a message. And that way I get to know if you really like what I'm doing, or if you don't. It shows me where I stand with these videos I'm posting. I'm trying to figure things out still. I stumble and fall all the time, fellas, with my words, and sometimes it sounds like I'm contradicting myself. I'm trying to get it better at this, but it's going to take me a little while, probably. I'm not real good at technical stuff and all this stuff that I do. I try to explain things, and I get off track and lose my train of thought sometimes. But it all comes down, I feel like I'm talking to my friends. So guys, anytime you have a question about anything, all you have to do is post it, and I'll be glad to get back to you. Alright, fellas. Alright, listen, y'all have a good night, and I appreciate you checking me out. Take care, guys.